Ben, thanks so much for joining us in the Sports Editor. It's really good to chat about your interesting rugby career and what you've been having to do back in South Africa and what you're currently up to. But I've got to start off with, why on earth were you playing rugby on the wing?
It's an interesting story. It's actually a very long story to start off with. On school level, I was a pretty good athlete, and I was forward all the time, playing eighth man lock. Most of my going through age group levels, and in grade 10, I decided I'm going to play centre. And I walked into my first team coach's office, and I told him, "Listen here, I'm going to play centre." And he laughed at me and he said, "Listen, I'm never ever going to choose you on centre. You can forget about it. You can go and play for the second team." I said, "No, it's fine. Play second team. I'll enjoy it. It's fine." My first team playing for the second team, I started on inside centre, scored 6 tries. Next game, I started for the first team. So basically where it started. Played centre throughout my basically throughout the whole age group level rugby high school up to 2008, where I started. Also, I played wing then. Interesting as well. Played wing for the under-21s, Griquas under-21s, yes. But trained with the senior team on flanker for Coach Darby Tron. Okay. So I was playing. I was in the Vodacom Cup and the Kerry Cup squad back then, senior provincial. So weekends playing wing, but during the week training with a senior team on flanker. And when I signed my professional contract with Griquas, I signed as a flanker lock. So that's basically how the whole thing started, almost like PSPs.
Yeah, true, very true. Talk about adding to your skills. Well, that's very impressive. Yeah, because you started off with the Griquas, and it seems like you did really well there. You won championships, and it seemed like it really molded your career, your time at Griquas. Did you feel that you were given quite a nice amount of responsibility there, and that helped you develop your career even more?
Look, I was pretty young when I started at Griquas. I'm going to be quite honest. I was a little bit of a loose head. Enjoyed being young and getting involved and being there. So I think things started off a little bit rocky for me. In 2009, my first professional year, basically, to say it like that. I was in the mix. I played against EP Kings on tour. We toured from Kimberley to I think back then it was still Southern Kings or Southern Spears. So we toured there and still in the old stadium, when they were in the old stadium, Boetie Rasmus Stadium. And I was 5 minutes on the field and I tore my ACL. So I was out for, it was bad, man. It was basically my whole career was injury ridden, unfortunately. So I was out for 9 months, only coming back in 2010. So look, Coach Darby is one of the best coaches I worked with, and he spoke a lot with me and he worked with me, and he told me many times he rates me and he wants me to get into the mix and get involved with the guys. He sees a lot of potential in me. And I think, unfortunately, I got a bad hand, not due to what happened there, but just injury-ridden in the beginning of my career there.
Shame.
So, look, I enjoyed it. I played with a couple of amazing guys there. Sarel Turius, that's now involved with Southern Kings, to name one, Gareth Krause. I had an opportunity to play with wonderful guys. I mean, guys like Walmer Lowe, Bjorn Basson. Interesting. I used to play left wing, Bjorn used to play right wing, and Walmer played outside centre, inside centre. So the three of us were the only guys that moved through the age groups as well to professional rugby.
Yo, that's very, very interesting. Sure, that's good, exciting there. Because then after that, you went and played with the Bordeaux Bulldogs. And again, you were very instrumental in helping that team to do well. Because you obviously got a call up to the SA Barbarians to play against England.
Yes.
And was that sort of like I feel like, here we go, my breakthrough sort of is happening. It's going to happen. How did you enjoy your time with the Bulldogs? Yeah.
Getting out of the injury again from 2009 to 2010. After the Vodacom Cup, Coach Darby spoke to me and he asked me, "Listen, I think it will be good if you go to Bordeaux for a while on loan. Get some of your confidence back, get into the thick of things with them. they're in need of players, and I said, listen, it would be great. Let's go. Let's try and go over there and try to improve myself even more. Enjoyed it a lot. Decided to stay there at the end of the day with Bordeaux. Back then, they had the news articles in the Sun, etc., that used to say who's going to be the team that will go and play Super Rugby. And myself, Jacques Vleis Engelbrecht, that's a good mate of mine, and Jacques Potgieter was the loose trio, week in and week out for that specific team with a couple of other guys. So I decided to stay in the mix there. Also, the coaches and the staff approached me and told me, listen, yeah, stay with Bordeaux. There's a future for you here, and let's see what happens. So I enjoyed it. 2011 was a good year for us. Also had a couple of bad injuries. Didn't play the whole season. And then 2012 happened. Was awesome. Had a good season with the Bordeaux Cup. We're involved with the Barbarians. And yeah, like you said, it felt like at that stage, listen, yeah, things are happening. Things are going to change. I had a few articles in the newspapers about my playing abilities. Things started to fall into place.
And talking about playing ability, it just seems like you're the guy who was really prepared to get stuck in and do the dirty work and often make those one or two rucks that maybe a bit, yeah, but we won't go there. but often it's doing that dirty work that perhaps it's overlooked, which is often an interesting sort of approach to take, because you know you're going to do the dirty work and you might not always get the recognition you want, but you know that you're playing the best that you can. Is it like a fair assumption?
No, definitely. Look, I don't really rate myself, if I look back at my career, as that whole workhorse kind of guy that's going to eat each and every ruck. I was the enforcer type of player that's going to run hard at you. I loved my defense. I really loved my defense, and I think the way I played actually had also a massive influence in the amount of injuries I had through my career.
Okay.
When I look back at it now, I couldn't keep on playing the way I did, throwing myself at people, expecting not to get injured. So I think, yeah, definitely. And I think that also gave me the X factor, being able to throw myself into the ruck situation, into the defense, run hard at guys. I think that gave me that is a quite accurate assumption of what my playing career was.
Well, Ben, if I'm not mistaken, 1.96 meters and 120 kgs.
Correct.
So I'm pretty sure you definitely made an impact in your games when it came to defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good, because obviously you played rock when your professional career. How did you sort of find the balance? And then you've got to work on your play the attack. Did you sort of say to yourself, right now, I've got to just sort of move more towards attack, and I can't just keep abusing people in defense?
No, definitely. With my background as a wing centre, I loved attack.
Yeah.
In the beginning of my career, I rated myself more of a runner, attacking player. And I think as I progressed and got a bit more clever within the situation, I focused a little bit more on defense and attack.
Okay.
It was nice in France. While I was playing in France, they gave me basically free reins. The coaches told me, and basically all the clubs I played there, we don't want to see you in the ruck. We want you to carry ball.
Sure.
We want you to make the. So that was awesome playing in that kind of atmosphere. So I think I was 50-50, maybe more 60-40 when it came to defense and attack. Yeah.
Yeah. No, excellent. You also spent some time at the Portland Cavaliers, but then after that you went off to France, and there seems to be quite an attraction for South Africans to go and play rugby in France. Is that something like you'd recommend for players? Like if you want to take a rugby, I'd say that much more seriously, go and spend some time in France because of what you can learn there.
No, definitely. I think it's good for any professional rugby player to get an opportunity to go there. I think it's getting more and more difficult for our players to get overseas, especially if you just play in a more I think today it's more semi-professional. You go look at Bordeaux, Bègles, and that type of players to get into a Pro 2 or top 14 team. But if you do get the opportunity, I will grab it on and go for it. I think there's a lot of opportunities for the players there. The federation looks after the players.
Okay.
And to build, I think we as South Africans fit more into that type of play as well, that physical type of rugby. And I think that's one of the reasons why they love us so much.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, because I mean, if you look at it, with all due respect, you're a big lad. You're a big guy.
Yeah.
And South Africans are just big. And that sort of brand of rugby, do you think it's going to stay in South Africa for a while, where you just get big guys driving forward and making those tackles and getting stuck in those rucks? Or is the game sort of changing to more of a, let's say, a quicker game, more of a passing, running game, so to say?
I think if I look at from a coach's point of view, our DNA as South Africans is that hard, physical, in your face type rugby. I think that is also the reason why we went off course for almost a decade in South African rugby. Is we tried to do more things that didn't really suit our DNA. I think we've got the capabilities of playing that X-factor, flashy type of spread the ball wide rugby. But I also think within our DNA of play, we need to earn the right to go wide. And I think that is our DNA in South African rugby. I don't see us as South African teams, per se, being totally as successful if we are not playing towards that DNA. And I think that is what Coach Rassi brought in. He was involved with us in 2012 with the Barbarians as well. He worked with us a lot. And I think a lot of the things that he printed into us back then with the Barbarians also came through now in the World Cup last year. If you look at our DNA as South Africans, as Afrikaans guys, as the Dutchies, and the rest of the guys around us, is that confrontational type of rugby players. And also the raw courses. I think that's also one of the reasons why they like us up north so much. We will play with broken ribs or with cracked foot. We will always be ready to play. So I think it gives us that X factor of South Africa, being South African.
Sure. Yeah. You must have had your fair share of interesting times in France. The one thing I'm going to ask you, the Bordeaux Beagles, and you signed for them, as a medical joker. Now, I've never really heard of that term before. What is a medical joker?
Okay, so a medical joker, a club has, it's set by the federation. They've got medical joker contracts, put it in brackets, where they can contract players for injured players for a time period of a minimum of 3 months. So within that specific, I think it was Adam Horrock, he was the lock for Bordeaux. He got injured. He had a hernia in his back and they need to operate. And he was out for up to 6 months. So Bordeaux approached me, and then I got a medical joker contract to go and play for that term while he was out. So that's basically, if they got a set amount of contracts that they can provide for players to replace injured players.
No, excellent. Yeah, man. So you sound like you had a really good time there. Did you enjoy the culture of France? Was the food any good? Did the people behave themselves?
I've got a lot of interesting stories in regards to France. There's a lot of cliches that is not true. I definitely enjoyed my time in France. I think it was a wonderful experience. Myself and my wife. My son was born in France. And I think it was an awesome experience. That it helped me to develop as a player a lot, the 4 years I spent there. If people tell you the food is better than South African food, it's a lie. They tell you that the food is definitely not better than our food. Definitely not. There's nothing like a good old braai and the tuisgemaakte potjie by die huis. No, definitely not. But and I think our desserts is also better here.
Oh yes,
definitely better. Look, my experience there was awesome, and I think about it a lot, and I think back at it with a lot of love in my heart and a lot of memories made.
No, that's excellent. No, that's good. You definitely you made the most of your career there. But unfortunately, Ben, things didn't quite work out, and you got a career-ending injury. What exactly happened? Could you give us more detail of what happened to prevent?
Yes. So end of 2015, 4th of December 2015, we played against Ducks. And actually, shouldn't have played that game. The coach asked me, actually, or told me not to play. I had cracked ribs, and I decided to still play the game because we had the December break at that stage. So I had some bruised ribs that didn't look very good. And I told him, listen, let me play this game, and then I've got 3 weeks off, and then I can rest. Went well. We didn't have a very good game as a team. And I decided to stay on the field, even though the coach asked me a couple of times to go off. Made a tackle, and then I tore my circumflex nerve on my right shoulder. So basically, the nerve that controls your deltoid, I tore that totally off. That controls the whole function of your shoulder and all the muscles around it.
Gee,
So it's very rare. Yeah, so it's the most painful thing I ever went through. Wish it on no one. No, and it only happens to 2% of the global population. So it's a freak accident, man. It's
absolutely
trust and benefit to get the injuries that nobody gets.
Yeah.
And man, but I'm lucky. There's a couple of guys. There's a guy I think that played for Lyon, a Fijian guy. He got the same injury, lost all the function in his arm. His arm is totally useless. Luckily, throughout all the years I did my time in the gym, and I developed all that small muscle groups around my shoulder. And it was such a freak accident I couldn't operate. So they said the chances of keeping your arm at this stage is better to just leave it, let the nerve regenerate, then be cutting, and it's a 50-50 chance of you losing the ability in your arm and never being able to maybe use your arm again. Yeah, man.
Wow, that is
so I still have the function. I can still use it.
Okay.
I still have pain every day, but I'm blessed. I can still pick up my son. I can still play with him.
Yeah.
Still be involved with rugby. So I'm happy, man.
That's good. Yeah, because I was going to ask you, I'm sure you haven't given up on rugby. Are you still involved in rugby? And if so, are you coaching at a club? What are your movements?
Yeah, man. I think if the rugby is in your DNA, it will always be there. We moved back in July 2018. I finished my studies. I studied through Toulouse Business School. Did my honours degree in business management with Brian and a couple of other guys that was also involved there.
Okay.
And then we moved to Cape Town. We first settled in Wellington. Started coaching there at Griquas High School. Just got involved there with some of their teams, coaching, doing a few drills, etc. Always loved the idea of coaching. And then the bug bit me again to get more involved. My wife told me, listen, check out there, get involved. And I got into touch with some guys, and they said, listen, why don't you go to Milnerton Rugby Club? That's around the corner here from where I'm staying currently. Called Auntie Nolene from Union Milnerton. Got in touch with her, had a meeting, and that same evening I got involved with them. First year was as consultant, now I'm currently the second team head coach of Unimil. So I'm enjoying it, man. Totally enjoying it. Lucky involved there. Good club, awesome guys.
Yes.
So really enjoying it.
Is Monty Dumont helping there at all from a kicking perspective?
Yeah, no, Monty is actually still playing. I don't think my friend Montaz will ever stop playing.
Yes,
I think he's just one of those guys that's got the genetics to play until he's 50 years old, most probably. Sure. Actually, myself and him, I took the forwards last year with the second team, and Monty coached the backlines at the second team. So, but now Monty is playing again. There was a problem with his licensing last year because he was still involved with Boland. And then he couldn't get, the license it basically expired to get involved with club rugby. So he couldn't play, so he just coached last year. And so this year he decided he's going to play again.
Yes, that's one tough bugger there.
Still play.
Yes,
I actually spoke to him last week or the week before, and I asked him what is his idea for next year, and he said if he's capable, if he thinks he's going to play another year or two.
Oh, wow. Because he must be about 36, 37 now.
I think he's 36, I think he's 36. But look, man, I think he's the fittest team in the guys still, eh?
Yeah.
We we play around with a good couple of jokes. He's the opa on the team, but he looks 20, eh?
Yeah.
So he's a lekker. He plays well, eh? You can see he's still got it.
It's excellent. So when is the season meant to be getting up and running again? Are you guys actually training? What's the story? What's happening with club rugby?
So currently the communication came through from Western Province Rugby about 2-3 weeks ago, and also from SA Rugby that all community rugby, etc., is going to be called off for the year 2020. Exactly the parameters of training, etc., wasn't capable of doing any training. Complexes were still closed. Most complexes were still closed for any sports or gatherings. What is involved now with the new level 2 regulations, I'm not quite sure. Okay. And we are awaiting what the communication for Western Province Rugby to see what is going to happen. But the guys are keen, eh? The guys are really keen. We have a couple of WhatsApp groups for Unimil, and the guys already, everybody, every day there's a new guy asking, can we start training now? Can we do this? Can we do that? And throughout the lockdown period, the guys have still been training, eh?
Sure.
I must say the commitment from the guys has been incredible. Posting videos, posting stuff on the groups, getting involved with each other, posting like little battles between each other of who's going to do this today, workouts of the day, who's going to do that. It's awesome. I must compliment the guys' attitudes.
Yeah. No, because that's shows signs of a proper team vibe there, and then really a good atmosphere. So that's excellent to hear.
Yeah,
really, really good.
But if you look at a team we have, Hilton Lobbits are involved with us now.
Okay.
Logan Basson is involved with us. You've got Monty de Mont. There's so many guys that Algo Watts are involved over there. So the first team is basically ex-professional rugby players and guys that could have played professional rugby and did at the stage.
Sure.
So I think the professional mindset is imprinted within the guys, and that's why they are so motivated to just continue.
Yeah. No, that's really, really good to hear. But Ben, I also know you are quite a fisherman. You enjoy throwing one or two leads out there. When did that fishing habit start, or do you take it quite seriously? What's on the go there?
Yes. Look, I've always been a fisherman. I grew up in a house where we used to spend a month and a half over December holidays or April, June, July holidays next to the water. And I grew up with my dad being a fish lover, love fishing, fisherman mindset. So I grew up with it, started crossing over from conventional angling about 10 years or so ago, starting more towards specimen angling. And I think it really kicked off when I moved to France. It's a massive thing in Europe, carp angling. But I'm not just a carp angler, I'm also rock and surf. I love catching sharks, getting carbs, edibles, etc. But my main passion is carp fishing, specimen angling. So I fished over there. I was actually involved with a company in Europe, Northern Baits. It's quite a well-known baiting company. I was a field tester, marketer for them for a stage. After my injury, got involved with them, did a couple of posts on Facebook and on social media, just testing products for them. And then when we moved back to South Africa, I brought all my stuff home with me and start asking around. Got involved with Johan van der Westhuizen, that is here in Cape Town, and I got involved with Winelands carp fisheries and also with Fish Clinic. So Johan's got the company called Fish Clinic. So I'm a field tester and marketer and brand ambassador for Fish Clinic products. Basically a baiting company that produces all kind of baits, boilies, glugs, etc. that is produced for carp fishing. And busy with their marketing and getting involved with them. So if I get an opportunity throughout the rugby, etc., you'll find me most probably next to one of the lakes.
That's a proper man's man. If you're not playing rugby, you're fishing. It's excellent.
No, man, you need something to get your mind off things, man.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Just want to turn our attention slowly just back to South African rugby quickly. And it just seems like that the Blue Bulls are doing a lot of work. And, you know, in your time when you played for the Griquas, the Blue Bulls are also like this force of rugby. And when you went there, you came back rather hurt. Maybe, except for you, I think you would have been fine. The other guys would have been stuffed. Do you think they're returning to their stronghold, the Blue Bulls? Are they looking to be dominant? I know the Sharks
Look, Ryan, definitely.
doing well.
Definitely. I think they are on the right track. I think with anywhere where Coach Jake is involved and his whole mentality and the way do things is, especially when it comes to South African rugby. Look, he's not a World Cup winner for nothing. He didn't set the trend with Coach Eddie Jones when it came to top class coaching and knowing what the game is about. And I think he's contracting a lot of exciting guys. He's keeping some of the guys there that's going to improve the brand of rugby at the Blue Bulls, and I think they're going to return to a massive power in South African rugby, if not the power of South African rugby again.
Absolutely, and I guess it's good to have competition because, like I mentioned, they were quite well known just for being an absolute dominant force. There was a picture posted the other day of when I think they beat the Reds 92-3. It's like, so you could actually see
incredible.
that happening.
I watched the highlights the other day of that specific match, and it was incredible, man.
No, it's
unheard of.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But it's also been a bit of a discussion, and it is such an attractive thing to play overseas. And we even touched with your career. I mean, it's nice exposure. You get to experience a new culture and see different things. Is South African rugby do you think, enough to make it, I could almost say, attractive for players to want to continue to play rugby here? Or are things getting a bit tough, if I could say?
I think it's a catch-22 situation at this stage. I don't think financially the clubs in South Africa will be able to offer what the clubs in Europe are going to offer the players. Let's be quite frank and honest. As a rugby player and as a professional sportsman, you've got a limited time to make money and get yourself out there.
Yeah.
So I know it's a big debate between the supporters being angry at players for moving around, etc. But listen, the guys need to look after themselves and their careers.
Yeah.
And I think also with the new structuring of contracts within South African rugby, where there's only going to be a certain amount of contracts being dished out by top unions, I think more of our exciting players and also more of the Springboks are going to look for, I don't want to say greener pastures or more lucrative contracts overseas. Yeah. I think that's what Coach Rassie did well, and I think that's also contributes to the fact that we won the 2019 World Cup, is that he made it open for the guys. He knows as a player what it is to be a professional and how things goes, and he made it open for guys to still be eligible to play for South Africa, which makes it easier for a player to make certain decisions and to be happy and look after themselves.
So true. Well, I'm looking forward to it because I really hope that rugby gets back on track, and I hope that even all the divisions, the Vodacom Cup, whatever competitions are set to take place, that they do take place. Yeah, because rugby is vital for this country, and I think it's many people love it, and it's part of who they are almost. That's what they look forward to in the weekend.
Definitely.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's like we had to play rugby.
It's a ritual.
So it's an important part.
It's our tradition, I think. No, definitely. I think rugby, Brian, Brandewyn and Bolton is just part of our traditional South African way.
Absolutely.
And we will be lost without it. I think most people are lost. I spoke to a couple of my colleagues and some of our friends, and everyone is just itching to get back stuck into it.
Yes.
Watching rugby, just being able to socialize and getting the new normal, getting used to the new normal within what we love and what we like to do. I think that's something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, it's been really nice to chat to you and about your career. And so, actually, before we go, you said you're teaching a bit. You are a brave man.
Yes. Yeah, man. I'm. Well, thank you very much, sir. No. Yeah, man. Also, interesting story. Actually, I'm speaking too much. I think the interview is too long. Yeah, when we moved back after I finished my career, I had a couple of interviews. I actually got 3 job offers to go into the private sector. When I started coaching with Huguenot, as I said, the bug bit me again to get involved with coaching. and so on. So my wife said, listen, yeah, send your CV to the schools, see what happens. Let's see if they actually, I spoke to the headmaster of Huguenot High School, and he told me, listen, you'll be a great attribute to any school because you can bring that rugby factor, the athletics factor background, and because you've got a business degree, you can teach as well. So I started sending it out, got an interview with Mr. Gous, who is also a rugby man. He played professional rugby in France, and for the Lions, he coached the upcoming box. He coached most of the Springboks that played last year, and he's now the headmaster at Tableview Primary School.
Sure.
Not a lot of people actually knows that. So got an interview with him, got involved there, and decided to move down to Cape Town and to teach and try and bring in a difference. I think definitely in these kind of times we need that. Decided to go that route. For time being, we'll see what the future holds and where everything will go after that. We can't predict what the future holds for us, but enjoying it, man.
Nah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I think you're going to do absolutely brilliant there, Ben, because you're passionate.
Thank you very much, man.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Ben, thanks so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you for inviting me. It's been an honor. It's been nice.
Lekker, man. We'll definitely catch up there as soon as Club Rugby's back up and running, and then we can talk about the season and how things are going.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
You're a top, man. Soon. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Cool. All the best, Ben. Lekker, bro.
Thanks a lot. Cheers again. Cheers, man. All right. Bye-bye.